Hey, good morning to all my big steppers out there. Today we're about to talk about what are you going to do if they don't send a boat? You got to learn how to swim. So, when I was younger, first got my license at 16, one of the biggest things that my dad had told me, and really when I got into high school and I got around friends that could drive, was you have to be able to drive yourself. You shouldn't be hopping in the passenger seat with nobody and, all these type of things. I used to think he was just, mean from the standpoint of, why can't I hop in the car with my friends? Why do I have to be the one if I'm not driving right now? If somebody else driving, why can't I drive? So I used to, tell a little story to get around that. Of course, didn't mention everything that I was doing, hop in the car with my friends, but I quickly learned that I want to be the one that's driving. And I learned that from, being in the car with some of my friends and just seeing how they drove. I was like, man, like, if I'm feeling any type of way, I'd rather be the one driving versus you driving because, if something happened, God forbid, at least I was the one at the wheel and I was the one that made it happen. So I could live with myself knowing if I crashed or if I did something, it was because of me and not because of someone else. So that's, it grew my mind to develop in that standpoint, which began to be true in all phases of life as I grew older. So one thing that happened a couple of years ago, I had a friend who, moved cross country, moved to be able to start a new job, start a new life. And the job that they had started, unfortunately, they let him go in the middle of the orientation. So the job knew that they had moved across country and all these type of things, but they still let them go in the middle of orientation. So what does this all have to do with you learning how to swim? What does this have to do with you not depending on somebody to send a boat, right? Well, in life, guys, you're going to be faced with decisions where you can let someone else steer the way, or you can take the bull by the horn, get behind the driver's seat and drive yourself. Like I told you, a metaphor for my life was being able to realize that quickly, coming from parties and these type of things, that some of my friends that were driving, they were reckless. So I began to be the one, like, if anything, I'm gonna drive. So I drive after the party or anything like that, rather than hopping in the car with someone else. Now, what am I saying here? Again, with you driving yourself, you control your end destination ultimately. You can never predict what someone else is going to do. You can never predict how someone else will react when things hit the fan. And ultimately, you see what's happening first, and you got to relay the message to the passengers in the car. So the same with my friend who, got fired throughout their orientation period. You put yourself in a position when you are, working for someone to get fired, and they stop sending the boat, which the boat being the paycheck, which is why you have to learn how to swim. Now, am I saying don't work a 9 to 5? Of course not, guys. Of course not. I believe that, for one, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. And for two, some people really love their jobs. Some people really, get up in the morning and are enthusiastic about their job, really loving life every day. So for those people, that's a great thing. Because at the end of the day, what makes you successful is whatever you deem to be successful, whatever you deem to accomplish. But what I am saying is that you have to learn how to swim on your own. You have to be comfortable if your job lets you go the next day when you go into work. You have to be able to, I'm good without the boat. I'm good without the job that you're giving me, because you are invested into other assets and other streams of revenue that makes you money. So what can you do if you work a 9 to 5 to get you some money outside of your 9 to 5 job? One thing, obviously, you got passive income such as the stock market, but that's not immediate income, right? That's not stuff that's coming in strictly monthly. You may get dividends, but it's not coming in right away. So one thing you can do is, if you have a real nice 9 to 5 and you're not looking to invest in real estate or, gain a rental portfolio, then you can make your money work for you, right? You can become a private money lender, invest in someone that has the skills and the knowledge to be able to, make you make money, right? Get you a 12% interest rate on, a couple $1,000s that you invested into a project or something like that. That's one way. Another way is, let's say a mother out there that's, juggling different roles. If you're a mother, a wife, and also, a daughter, a whole bunch of things, then maybe you should write you an online course. You could write you an online course explaining to people the different roles that's happening. Like right now, online courses, guys, it's a $65 billion industry, and it's projected to become a $365 billion industry by 2025 to 2026. That's $1 billion a day. Guys, I mean, as we know, the world is changing. There's a lot of digital, nomads, a lot of digital things that's going on. So definitely you want to get your feet into the online course industry. You could talk about how you work. You can talk about how you're a mother, a father, a husband, a wife, a cousin, whatever your role may be. People are interested in hearing your story, because in this information era, the main thing that we have is our own stories and our own life. So that's like 2-3 different ways right there that you can capitalize if they don't send the boat. If, you are forced to learn how to swim. My biggest advice to you guys is learn to swim before, it becomes the ship is sinking. Learn to swim before Titanic starts sinking. You feel me? Because if you already know how to swim, then you're good. But if you have to learn out the blue, I mean, granted, some people, as we know, pressure makes diamonds. So some people operate better under pressure, but at the same time, why not capitalize in the position that you are in right now? Back in the older days, before we, within like the last 50 to 60 years, where we were so blessed to be able to have so much leisure time to be able to just chill after work and things like that. Back in the old days, guys, our grandparents was working freaking 18 hours a day, like 6 hours probably just to sleep and eat some food. So like this perceived notion of time that we have that's just leisure time is not really the case, guys. So, your leisure time will be earned by your passive income and by the things that you're producing every day, not just by clocking in and clocking out and then think you just okay for the rest of the day. It doesn't work like that. So get invested in real estate. If you don't feel like getting invested in real estate, go ahead and make your money work for you. Find somebody who has the skills, knowledge, and go ahead and tune into my YouTube so you can learn that you only need two of 4 skills to be successful in real estate. And like I said, knowledge, skills, money, and time. If you don't have the time, but you have the money, find somebody who does have the time and the skills or whatever, and they'll be able to get you invested. Or guys, like I said, you'll be able to create you an online course, create something to where you're building your personal brand and you're sharing your personal story, and you're leveraging your story, that your story of whether you went to school and you took the traditional route and you got a husband, wife, and all these different roles that you're juggling. Tell people how you juggle them roles. Start telling people how you do that. That way you are already learning how to swim if they don't send the boat. All right, guys, as always, get to stepping.